Hello, good morning to all. Today's session is related to the SAP Transportation Management. Version will be 9.5. The module duration will be 40 hours. We shall carry out the class on Saturdays and Sundays for every week, and the corresponding maybe some weekdays that we shall discuss in ahead of time. Okay, so please mute your microphone and please uh, hear these presentations and the topic areas in sequence to understand properly. So there are, I think, 3 persons. So I think one or two more persons will join. One person from overseas, another person from Hyderabad only. So this is the presentations starting. No, at the end of this unit, the participants will take care about transportation management process, how to create data sport related flight order, shipment, forwarding order, and the role of the shipper. Also, then if there is any problem of delivering this particular goods, so we need to cancel the shipment and display this shipment cost and transportation cost, the flight cost, and also we shall discuss about the shipment documents, and every transportation process is followed by the inbound delivery also in order to complete the end-to-end cycle in logistics execution areas. So logistics execution areas involves inbound and outbound activities. Then after completing of this outbound delivery, we need to do this post goods issue. So post goods issue we are doing after having these activities for creation of outbound deliveries, then do the picking and packing of the goods. We can see the list of shipments, and in warehouse we need to create this create and confirm the transfer order. Also, we shall see this transportation management integration with this freight forward, the agent site, and there also we need to do the PGI post push issue in shipment, right? Fine. Let us go to the next step. We need to take care about the key definitions like shipping condition, shipping point, and here we are doing the collective processing of these sales orders or collective processing of the deliveries. So collective processing of the deliveries is known as freight order. Freight order contains n number of outbound deliveries. Shipment is also having the n number of outbound deliveries, but freight order is especially achieving for this transportation management process. And here we need to define the shipping point. So shipping point is a combination of shipping condition, loading group, and delivering plant. So shipping condition, basically it is a shipping requirement having these particular conditions of shipping like express or standard shipping condition. And loading group is specially known as this loading equipment for loading these goods on this particular truck. And then delivering plant is the plant from where we are delivering the goods or materials to the suppliers premises, to the customer premises, sorry. Then also SAP documents flow, you can see this first we shall create order, then delivery, then invoice. Okay, so this is the flow of SAP documents in sequence. This is the especially introduction for the transportation management, shipper in ERP logistics, shipper in TM, and carrier. So all these stakeholders like ERP logistics, SAP TM, and carriers, they are working in a sync. Okay, so this is the transportation management overview. We can see this transportation management overview contains the different process flow like order management, transportation planning, transportation execution, and freight costing and settlement. And last but not the least, the analytics and reporting. So first process of transportation management involves order management. So order management means the outbound delivery related orders, sales order. Okay, so any sales order which are creating against the customer requirement, customer demand. So we need to check the material availability based on the order's quantity and delivery date. So these are the two important points related to this order management. We need to cope up with the situations for this customers requirement for the quantity, requirement quantities, and the delivery date. Okay. So here order management involves to create these technical views. It is related to this SAP S/4HANA because it is the future of SAP TM. But as we are not using the embedded TM in your company, then we shall skip for the time being. But later we shall come back to this slide. Order management has got different steps like integration with order, delivery data in SAP S/4HANA, then also related to the order and booking management, personal work list, and schedule management. So these are the specific related activities for order management. First, we need to integrate the order and delivery data in ERP logistics and SAP TM. Then we need to check the order and booking managements, how to create, how to change this order relating to the deliveries of shipping activities. Then also we can see this listing of these orders in sequential manner so that we can select the optimum orders to combine a particular delivery, to create a particular delivery, collective delivery, and to optimize the transportation cost and to reduce the cycle time, transportation lead time. Okay. And then schedule management is involving two types of scheduling. One is the scheduling of shipping point, and next is the scheduling of transportation route. So these are the specific benefits for these order managements, like improving the efficiency of order process managements. We can create the particular routing proposals dynamically Based on the business rules, can create the rules. So these rules is involving like shipping point, uh, transportation route, transportation lane, transportation related process. Then we need to the freight cost. Freight cost can be minimized to a large extent using this optimized transportation route, reduce the transportation lead time. Here we need to use some enhancement or customer exist or user exist to enhance the customer service, to delight the customer, to provide the better service for customers. Okay, any question for this order management? So basically order management is involving the integration of sales order with respect to the delivery data for transportation process. So this business model is involving these transportation related activities for the business. Second is the order and booking management. So booking of this particular uh, activities for ordering based on the customer's requirement. So requirement involves requirement quantity and the delivery. Okay, and personal work list. Work list, you can create your personal work list, or you can create having the standard work list for involving this a sequence of orders, and where you can select the desired sales order to form the delivery. Now, package building. Package building is an important activities for these transportation management. So, packaging involves the packed quantities, what will be the packaging process. So, it is mentioned in the packaging specification master data. How to do the packaging, process of packaging, it is defined in the packaging package specific packaging specification master data. Then the result is to create the pallets or the package, big packages or boxes. So aim of the package building is to minimize the number of packages per pallet so that we can do the optimize the use of the packaging materials and the packaging process. It involves package attributes. What are the characteristics of the packages? Second is the product stacking rule, how to do the stacking of this particular packages on the transportation unit on the carrier. Then customer specific requirements, maybe customer must like healthcare, customer from the healthcare article, they are having specific requirements to maintain the temperature inside the container, to maintain the specific gravity inside these pallets. So we need to check, we need to do these activities based on the customer specific requirements, or we are having some specific needs for these height limits or weight limit, or maybe the volume limit. So volume is measured in terms of L into B into H, that is length, width, and height. And we are also having some height limit in this particular container or transportation unit based on the rules and regulations for the business process as per the country and region transportation zone. Okay, so these are the specific six kinds of package building. First is the total solid state of the products. having this particular complete product package. So all the products having these uniform attributes. So you can do this packaging in the form of this particular first one. Second one, we have having these different attributes of the products in a particular palette. So if customer require a particular delivery to be delivered in the delivery time, based on these two types of products. One is maybe different sizes of the components, other is the bigger transformer. So bigger transformer is placed at the lower end and the smaller components at the upper end to maintain the center of gravity at the lower side of the transportation unit. Also, the other may be layered based on these three types of attributes of the products in the same delivery. Next is the maybe some four types of products and mixed package. So mixed package involving layered and freestyle. If we have some smaller components or some powdered, we can put this powdered small component at the top and the higher or heavier weight of the materials, materials having the heavier weight, more weights, they can be placed at the bottom side to maintain the center of gravity at the bottom side of this transportation unit. And next is the mixed package freestyle, that is the number of 6. So number 6 is involving the mixed package. So it is also very much important to having this mixed package freestyle, having the components maybe fasteners or nut and bolts in a particular pallet to be packed in a fixed manner, it is uniform manner. But fifth, if we are having this nut and bolts, it should be in the particular chamber, in a particular container or pallets we have to store. Like picture 5 of this particular slide. Any question? No. Okay. Okay, thanks. So let's proceed to the next slide. So I am putting on this slideshow to see more precisely and confidently about this package building process. Basically, the aim of the package building process to optimize the number of packages per pallet. Okay, so we need to take care about some limitations like packaging characteristics, stacking rules or customer specific requirements, temperature, humidity, pressures, height limits, volume limit, and weight limit of this particular means of transport. Means of transport may be truck, rail car, ship, or vessels. That's all. Now, transportation planning. Transportation planning is also very much important for any initial activities of the transportation execution, because planning is the most important activities for transportation process, which models the business process. And this transportation planning, we are having this manual and automated planning. So planning can be done by manual and automated based on the customer's requirement and also dispatching. So it can do this manual and automated dispatching also. Next is the routing. So routing also basically transportation route is the connecting point from the delivering. It is the connecting entity from delivering point to the receiving point. And so resource involving all these activities, manpower resource as well as trucks, means of transport, or driver, all are the resources in the transportation planning, because the manpower resource is also very much important. How the resource should be available, how the resource can be managed to provide the seamless business process for the transportation activities. And also it is very much important about the selection of the carriers, how to select the carriers based on the particular Gantt chart, time and the freight orders. So basically freight order contains n number of deliveries. Then order tendering. So if most of the time we do not have our own fleet, own transport, so it is required to do the tendering, it is required to create the freight forwarding orders. So it is called the order tendering, means outsourcing of your transportation, physical transport of the or physical movements of the goods from delivering point to the receiving points by using the means of transport, so like trucks, rail car, ships, or air flight. Also, DGM, dangerous goods management, is having some pilferable activities for transportation management. So dangerous goods is having some restriction of storing and transporting the goods in the transportation activities or transportation processes, which models the business process. So business model should involve the particular specific process and sub processes to fulfill the requirements of the dangerous goods management. It is the legal requirement. It is the country specific obligations to be fulfilled to transport the dangerous goods management, like lithium battery. So if the lithium battery is to be transported from one point to the another point, one country to the another country, from delivering point to the receiving point, then we need to check and we need to consider about this specific requirement for dangerous goods management activities. Then planning of parcels, that we know that, as you know, that parcels, if the weight is less than 1 kg, then we should use uh, specific precise scheduling. So this type of planning of parcels can be done, and basically we have different business benefits, as we can see. This that is the can improve the resource utilization or the carrier selection to reduce the transportation cost, how to utilize the resource, and how to provide the optimum selection of the carriers. So both will impact the cost reduction for freight related activities. Then we can handle also huge volumes for the data using this automated planning. Automated planning, basically it involves some presetting in customizing as well as in master data related to the transportation route, transportation lane, transportation zone, shipping point scheduling, automatic scheduling of shipping point, and automatic scheduling of transportation route, as well as the delivery plant. So these are the specific parameters which can impact the automated planning process for the business model in transportation management. So combine the decentralized local, also we have got the activities for related to the some local agencies or local parties about the local requirement. Let us suppose that we have some specific local requirements uh, depending upon the requirement for the export and import policy of a country like Canada. So we need to comply with the local uh, government agencies for these specific activities of the local business views. Okay, and then we can achieve on-time delivery based on this transportation management planning. So planning is very much essential. It is an integral part of the transportation business process to provide just-in-time delivery, and also we can provide forecasting-based deliveries, like involving delivery schedules based on the requirement of the customer. We can provide the time-bound supply of the materials using the transportation process. Okay. Any question? Okay. Fine. Okay. Very good. So this is the transportation process activities. So transportation planning also involving freight planning capabilities. So freight, basically how much cost is required to do the transportation activities. So it starts from transportation demand. So transportation demand involves two things. One is the freight units, and other is the building the strategies. So freight unit is a collection of unit of measurement. It is called freight units. Simply, freight unit means it is defined as the collection of base unit of measurement. Right? And we need to build some strategies for the transportation demand, maybe related to the customer specific requirements, maybe related to the country specific requirements, maybe related to the specific transportation zone or transportation lane, to minimize the transportation lead time. So ultimate objective is to minimize the transportation lead time. So lead time involves some components like transit time, picking, packing, and loading time. Okay. So transit time is the time required to transfer the products or goods from delivering point to the receiving point. Then what are the resources and schedulings? Resources are they are the means of transports like vehicles, trailers, and vehicles, and how to schedule these particular transports based on the Gantt chart. You can do these activities. Then we have to take care about the creation of the freight documents, means hierarchical views. So freight orders, we have the hierarchical views based on the customer, based on the transportation zone, based on the transportation lane, and maybe the particular delivering point and receiving point. So these are the type of hierarchical you can use. Basically, it is used based on the customer, sold to party, or shipped to party. These are the two specific. So basically, transportation route is especially related to the shipped to party, but the shipping point is related to the sold to party. Then we need to consider about these freight orders and units. So freight orders involving the collective document of the outbound deliveries, okay, used in the transportation management, and freight unit is a collection of base unit of measure of SAP ERP logistics. Then we need to check also trailer documents and rails. So trailer or maybe vehicles and rail cars having some documents of waybill and all these activities we need to check. And also you can check the ocean and air bookings related documents if we are transporting the goods via ocean or air from one country to the another country, or maybe from one transportation zone to the another transportation zone. So it is very much used in European areas. That's we are having different transportation zones having the different rules and regulations, and it is required to comply with the exporter import activities under global trade services. So transportation management has to to comply, has to satisfy the legal requirements of global trade services (GTS). Then planning constraint, we have some planning limitations like loading and unloading durations. So that should be at the standard timing. So as per SAP norms, loading should not be more than 2.5 hours. Also unloading should not be more than 2.5 hours. Okay, maximum 2.5 hours each. Loading as well as unloading duration for a particular freight orders. Okay. Next is the driver posture. So driver management is very much essential based on these attributes like ability of the driver and scheduling of the drivers about the based on the delivery quantity and delivery date. Now, shipping and receiving windows, we have these shipping and receiving windows related to the shippers activities where we are doing this planning of these transportation processes in advance to make seamless flow of the business processes in transportation management. And then here also you can have some specific planning constant on the dependencies and incompatibilities. Dependencies, maybe transportation activities having dependence on different activities, maybe related to some external resources, or maybe related to these dependencies on these political situations of all the specific transportation zone, or related to the countries, or related to the natural activities or disasters or natural constraints. So all the dependencies we need to take care in the transportation planning in advance. Okay, so especially related to the political situations, or especially related to these local agents or local obligations, or local government's policy, we need to take care in US also. So US is having, let us suppose that specific states. So most of the states are having their own or different policy of transportation process, right? Any question?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good, fine. All good. Now the supporting data. The supporting data is having this carrier ranking, cargo management, freight execution status, and freight charges. So these are the four specific attributes for the supporting data on which we are doing this freight planning capabilities. So we have to check about the carrier rankings, that is the evaluation of the carriers agents. Carrier agents, basically they are the service providers just like vendors. So we need to do the ranking to select the appropriate and optimized carriers for the supplying of the goods to the customer premises. Then cargo management is related to this management of the cargo used in the air flight. So cargo is also having some important activities related to the express or parcel, uh, using let us suppose that DHL. So cargo management is also having some important aspects for the supporting data. Next is the freight execution status. How can we execute the freight activities involving the transportation processes for the business model? And most important is the freight charges. How to reduce the cost? How to calculate the charges based on the goods transportation lane, transportation route, transportation zone, and the shipping point, and delivering point and this receiving points status. Also, we have got this tracking and tracing system about these goods in the transportation process. Duration, so like we can have some third-party GIS integrations like Leo Cortic, or we are having some map views for tabs and IM screens, and you can use some Wikipedia or a specific third-party tool which is integrated to SAP, and some third-party vendors, they are also having SAP partnership to provide the global mapping system, basically uh, global interface solutions for the integrations with the SAP TM. Okay. Then visual load planning. So visual load planning is also very much important about the actual status of the goods and the products during the transportation process. So it involves the product quantities and the package buildings and then pallet packages. So how to see this load planning based on these transportation units of the trucks, vehicles, or air flights, and we need to optimize the load space for the transportation resources. Okay, how to optimize these loading spaces of the transportation unit. Then we need to take care about the solutions, how to find an appropriate locations based on these product attributes or some constant related to this stacking rule or heights, volumes and weights. So these are the constant using which are the deciding factor to do the stacking of the products and goods on the TU transportation unit. So some constant in the load optimizers, we can have this dimension, vehicle attributes, weights, stacking factors means what is the actual stack and divided by the what is the actual space used divided by the total space available. This is the stacking factor. Loading sequence is also very much important. We have to do the stacking based on the destacking parameters. If we want to destack in the FIFO pattern, we have to do the loading or stacking in the particular pattern so that we can do destacking in FIFO. Or US bridge formula, it is also very much important for the stacking or loading area, loading process. And what will be the maximum weight for each axle? Each axle means rows. So for each row of the particular stacking on the vehicle, so we have to decide the maximum weight so that there should be load balancing during the physical movements of the goods. And also we have to do the load planning that can be combined with the load consideration in a single step. So we need to check the feasibilities of the load combinations, which contains maybe n number of freight orders or which contains n number of deliveries in a collective manner to reduce the cost and the transportation time. Next is the driver management. We are considering drivers as a business partner in the master data. So we need to check all these other activities and attributes of driver management, like non-working times and absences involving maybe sickness or vacations of the drivers. What will be the driver's skill, ability, qualifications? What will be the validity period for the driver's license? And then also we must have some specific or assigned driver to the particular road freight orders related to this transportation route, transportation lane, transportation zone, to minimize the transportation lead time. So driver may be assigned as a single driver or team or maybe stage or order levels. We have this default driver assignment to the truck. It is also very much important. Some trucks may have some default drivers because of their specific transportation lane and transportation zone. And these transportation zones may be related to this particular transportation route. So route is also very much important about the diverse management activities. And assign the divers to the base. Sometimes we are having this in this particular default assignments or in the planning cockpit, transportation planning cockpit or Gantt chart view. So we have got three places like some default assignment place or transportation cockpit and Gantt chart. So all these places we have this visibility of the divers which are assigned to this particular vehicle. Also, we can check these planning views, which indicates the warning for these assigned divers about this supplying the goods related to the freight orders for the particular transportation route, transportation zone, or transportation lane. Okay, fine. So, diver management is an integral part for transportation processes for a business model. So, because driver management is very much difficult and it is a challenge for today's business scenario to provide the seamless transportation process end from delivering point to the receiving point. Also, freight selection and freight tendering are also very much important activities for the rule-based carrier determinations. So, it is also related to this activity of the freight planning, how to do the freight selections. We have the rules-based carrier determinations. So, rule-based carrier determinations having four components like freight agreements, cost, lane allocation, and business shares. So these are the four important attributes. What will be the agreement contract between the service providers and the company related to the transportation process? What will be the cost for these particular freight orders in advance? There should be some cost related agreements, some lane allocations. This transportation lanes should be allocated to reduce the transportation cost and to reduce the transportation lead time. And what will be the business share? Business share is also involving the local agents, brokers, or the specific country's legal requirements. Okay. Now, multivariant tendering. Multivariant, we can create the variants based on the peer-to-peer request for quotation or broadcast request for quotation or direct freight order assignments. So all these type of scenarios we can handle related to this creation of the variants for freight forwarding orders. Now, flexible collaboration we have involving, we have WIN, we have been involving these freight orders stakeholders like business to business or email communication or SMS communication using the mobile devices. We also have some authorization based RFQ data viewing and processes for the transportation portal where the freight forwarding agents or carriers can see their status of the freight orders in terms of the uh, freight orders activities or payment activities to provide the seamless services for the transportation process. Also, you can see the real-time tendering process or status monitors and dynamic charge controller. So all this can happen through a collaborative portal, which is a non-SAP based, maybe made of .NET tool called collaborative tool for the carrier agents portal. Next, we shall see next class in transportations execution. So all these activities as we have covered related to the transportation planning and order management for today's class. Any question? Up to these two sections, one is the order management, other is the transportation planning. We shall also discuss about the activities for configuring and customizing of these attributes or setting related to the order management and transportation planning. Then we shall discuss in details how to create, how to realize the master data for order management and transportation planning. Okay?
Okay, fine. Thank you. Fine, very good.
Okay, fine, very good. Now time. Thanks, it is completed for today's class, and next class on Sunday we shall take care about this freight relevant execution of orders, that is execution of freight orders. Fine, thanks.